So sec, let's
Hello.
suppose I'm
Yes, yes, Mr. Josh.
so I'm executing a recompile. You can see what is a
Oh,
okay, sorry, I mentioned okay. I have to go with a single quote. Or
okay,
please don't alter your procedure basically. Okay. Let's
okay.
suppose
Without
you
all,
can
okay,
so you have to mention like recompile your schema name and procedure name. Here is you can see this procedure was successfully marked for the recompilation. Okay. It
okay,
means next time when you will be executing this procedure, they will create a new plan basically. They will
okay,
recompile once again. Okay. So sometimes
okay,
what is happening, like some people is coming and they are saying like instead of going with a recompile, okay, try to alter your procedure. Okay. So if I'm saying like
okay,
alter this procedure, what is a demerit basically? If I will alter, basically they will go with a new plan. But what is a
okay,
issue? Like let's suppose I already said like I have a one view and those view will provide information when this procedure is modified. Okay.
when
So
it's
let's
pushed or
suppose you
procedure.
okay you mark a modification of this procedure. Let's suppose I'm going with the order by modified it.
Modified it.
Okay, so basically one issue is there. Like if I alter just now 1150 or 8,
Okay,
8, 10, 11. Okay, so what is the issue? Like maybe some audit team came and they will check this procedure is modified. Okay, so who
okay,
modified this procedure? Why this modification happened? Any changes?
oh,
So they have to correlate, like why they made a changes, no deployment done yesterday, then why they made a changes for today. So
okay,
to avoid audit issue, we have to go with a recompile basically instead of
okay,
modification of the procedure.
okay. So it will when we recompile, it will not mark as modified, but it will create a new plan.
Yeah, whatever plan is there, the next run they will mark for the recompilation. Okay,
Okay,
we are not modifying code of the you can say procedure basically, only
okay,
marking for the recompilation.
okay,
So let's suppose after recompilation you got everything's running fine. Next, let me add one point. Let's suppose I said like it's after 10 a.m. IST, your server is not performing well. So basically, you have to figure out, you have to ask question to interviewer. You tell me, complete server is not working, complete application is not working, only one database is not working. Could you please tell me how many database are hosted into the instance, same instance? If they are saying
okay,
one database, multiple database. So if we have a one database, it means you have to check your server perspective. If multiple database, maybe other application consume your memory or CPU basically. So those part you have to check. How you can check those part? Basically, I said you can go with a profiler or let's suppose I'm saying like a one module is not working fine. Okay, one module is like each and every time we are getting a timeout issue. Okay, let's suppose
okay,
I'm saying I have a like a Gmail account. Let's suppose I'm going to open. And in Gmail account, when I'll be clicking into the sent box, okay, I'm getting a performance issue. Okay. But when I'm clicking on inbox, this is working fine. Let's assume this is a case. How you got to know which procedure working under this sent? Okay. How you can identify? Let's suppose, let me try, maybe Amazon is there or not. Amazon. Okay. So I'm saying like if I'll be logging with this account because maybe its account will not work. Let me try to. Recently, I built this system.
okay,
Maybe. Uh, Okay. Okay. So let's suppose I'm saying this is a web application and I'm working for this application. So when let's suppose I'm clicking on your account, basically it's not a problem. But when I'm going with a order page, your order, I'm getting this issue. Let's suppose performance issue is happening. So how you can identify, because you are a DBA, how you can identify which procedure, which query is running behind this page? You don't know.
Okay.
How you can correlate? And let's suppose I'm going with a different option. I'm going with a your account and then I'm going with a your address detail. So basically in a address detail, it's working fine because I'm calling like a once a while. Maybe all customer is a calling once a while. Okay.
Okay.
But when I'm trying to make a order or maybe Amazon Pay or something, if I will try to do something, so it's we are getting a performance issue. So how you
Okay.
can identify this point basically? So for this, what you have to do, let's suppose I have a maybe let's go with a both solution. I have a profiler as well as extended event. Okay. So how you can go?
Okay.
You have to open your profiler. Okay. Let's suppose I started connected with this, and let me go with a SQL query and procedure. I'm typing just like a name, nothing to do. Okay. And here I have to go event selection, or maybe you can go a standard and then event selection. What event you want to capture here? So all event, or basically you have to go with a SQL statement complete. You have to find out. Yes. Okay. Here is a procedure. Let's suppose I have to check like a RPC procedure completed and like a SP completed also. I'm not going with a start point basically. How much time they will take. And next we have to search TSQL also. Maybe sometimes application is directly calling SQL query, or sometimes they are calling a procedure. So both part we have to call SQL batch complete. It means query along with a store procedure. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Which column you want to filter here? Let's suppose I want to filter. If you want to know which query it's creating, but you don't know, you have to go with each and every query. Okay. You have to figure out whatever query is running from this module.
Okay.
So if you want to show all the column, whatever column you want to select, you can just tick. Otherwise, you have to go run. Okay. So let's I started now. You have to clear here. Okay. I did clear.
Okay.
Nothing is there.
Okay.
Now I will try to hit your application. Let's suppose I said in order page. Basically, we are getting a performance issue. So let's suppose I clear just for now, and I will try to hit order. After hitting a order, basically you will get
Okay.
here SQL completion and SQL query procedure completed all the entry. So you
Okay.
got to know which query is executing by hitting this page. You got my point?
Yes.
Because Amazon is not connected with my server, so that's why we are not getting query detail basically. But you have to
Right.
clear, and this server should be connected whatever server point with this Amazon.com basically.
Okay.
And you will get the query detail basically, SQL query. But I suggested instead of going with a SQL profiler, you have to go with an extended view event because it's a low weighted, okay, and
Okay.
a SQL profiler is a, you can say, expensive tracing tool basically. So I suggested, like, let's suppose you have a like a both, whatever familiar, whatever good for you, you can start debugging. It's we are not doing for the like a 10 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. 1 second after clicking, we'll get a query detail because we don't know how they are calling a store procedure, from which procedure they are calling, which query they are calling inside order page basically. So those query we have
Okay.
to identify. Both will work because we are running for the 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, not more than that. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can go with a profiler also, but let me show you how you can capture detail from the extended event. Okay. So now what
Okay.
you have to do, you have to like I already explained, you have to go into the management, whatever server is a part of those, it's creating a problem. Expand your management. In session, you have to create a new session here. Okay.
Okay.
Same, you have to provide your like a session detail. I'm saying like a SQL query and procedure. Okay, same whatever name I mentioned. It's a blank template only. Now we have to select. I already said like a SQL query as well as procedure. Okay, so I'm
Okay.
going to type a statement. Okay. In a statement, you can see here is a SP statement completed. You have to add. Okay.
Okay.
Second, you
Okay.
have to add SQL statement completed. SQL statement, this one. You have to add.
Okay.
Let's suppose you want to analyze what is a plan, old plan of those. Okay. So you have to type execution plan basically. Execution plan. Here is a show plan basically. You got to know. Yeah. So post
Okay.
completed you want and pre-completed you can directly extract whatever you want. Post
Okay.
execution of this plan and pre-execution. I'm going to post. After completion, you will get a complete plan. Okay. Next, I have to store into the ring buffer basically. Only I have to see for the few seconds. So I'm going with this. And then we
Ring
have to,
buffer as in
so basically
it
it's a
will go.
memory. It's a memory only.
Okay.
We are going to capture
Mm.
this information to the memory basically. So
Okay.
basically we'll go for the 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minutes to capture a query detail basically. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can go and click OK. After clicking OK, you can see it's in a stop state. Now you have to start a
Okay.
session. Okay, I started
Okay.
already. And let me open a view, watch a live data. Okay, nothing is there because I didn't like I'm not doing anything. But let's suppose for the practical, I'm going to execute some query here. Yeah. So let
Okay.
me go with some query so that you got to know what query I'm trying, and those queries should be captured into the your extended event basically. So I'm going with this table. Okay, and order by one descending. Okay, let's go with this.
Okay.
Okay, Control Z. So basically, you will be capturing execution plan as well as completion as well as query completed time basically. So let me try to check what is the output in your X live data. So you can see basically three parameter I capture: SP completed, query execution plan, and here is your SQL query completed. So let me go with a query
Yes.
plan. In query plan, no need to go with a catch plan. You will get here query. Basically, complete plan you will get here.
Okay.
So, so you can
Cost of
go,
the query.
yeah, each and every information here, like a cost of the query and how many records they capture till now. Completion, all the information, CPU time, duration, each and everything you got here. What query we are trying to like execute basically. So if you want to filter like a in a one condition, like a, let's suppose you want to filter table detail, you can also customize your query. Like a, let's suppose you know my query schema should be something name. Okay, you can go and filter out whatever like a you want in click on property and in a event basically. And next is a storage. Okay, configure here. You can add your filter also. Let's suppose I have to add a may filter basically. Okay, so let's suppose I'm saying like a TSQL, maybe it's a TSQL is there, SQL text here. Okay, and I know something equal, or maybe it's a in, maybe it's a substring or something. Maybe feature is there, substring like whatever, like a query not equal. On basis of that, like SQL string, basically we have to go with the contents basically.
Okay.
A string like less than equal to Unicode. Okay, like basically we have to go with a SQL, this one. And you have to mention
Okay.
like let's suppose I'm saying I know few like a information person dot whatever like a table name. So only this record will like a filter while executing this task basically.
Okay.
So something like a I already like last time I explained into the profiler basically. Let's suppose you want to filter one database called something like a database name is adventure work. So if you can go with a filter, you can say selection of the event, and in a event like let's suppose I selected TSQL. Let me open a TSQL once again. Okay, this one TSQL is completed, and then SP completed also. SP completed this part. I'm unchecking this one. Here you can go column filter basically, and you can mention
Okay.
like let's suppose text data is starting with I'm saying person, something like that. It's a equivalent to same whatever I'm doing. Like
Okay.
so,
Okay.
let me place here this like a address. I know I will be executing address. Okay, and click here. Okay, and run this one. So if you'll be selecting up with the address any table, you got to know this record will you capture. And if you are not capturing with our address, basically those record will not capture basically. You can see here is a
Oh,
capture.
okay.
But let me go with a different table. Basically, they will not provide information to you because we already capture.
Okay. In filter, we gave address table information. Then only it is capturing that table information.
Yep. So if I'm saying this
Okay.
one, and if you can open here, so you'll not find your like a whatever error table I selected. You can see here, nothing is there. Are you
Okay.
getting this one? Nothing is there.
Yes. If I don't mention anything in filter and if I just
All
try to
all
create.
all transaction, all SQL statement or maybe procedure will show you.
Okay. Server level or DB level.
No, no. Basically, it's a server label. Basically, they will provide a information. But if you want to going to search with a database filter, also you can apply. Database name
Okay.
is also there in a filter condition.
Okay.
You can modify whatever like a whatever data you are getting here. Let's suppose. Let me show you. Those should be work basically. Here you can see it's application name. Okay. So let's suppose application name is a Amazon.com. So you can
Okay.
filter on basis of application name, end user name, login name, and DB name is also
Okay.
there. Maybe check. Okay, let me check. Maybe those column I didn't select it. If you want, I can show you once again. Let me create a new trace. And I'm saying like let's go with a default name. And in an event, I'm saying show all the columns. Okay. And
Okay.
I'm selecting only T-SQL. Let's go with the same process. Uncheck this one and SP completed. I have to capture. SP completed. And second, here is a SQL batch completed,
Okay.
SQL statement completed. And next, I want to like add up all the columns. Let's suppose database name is there. You can see here, database name. You can see
Yes.
it's a check
Database ID and
already checked here. Okay,
okay.
now you have to go and filter. And here is a database name or database ID. Whatever database you want to filter, you have to add a filter, adventure work. Okay.
Okay.
And after providing a adventure, only they will filter all the query from the adventure databases. They will not go
Okay.
with all the databases. And if you are not
Okay.
adding anything, it means they will pick all the transaction they will capture from the SQL instance label basically.
from all the databases with.
Yeah, all the databases basically.
Okay.
So basically with help of this, because you are not running what is happening initially, like a before extended event. Let's suppose I have to capture something in a 2-day evening, complete like a late evening. So what
Okay.
DBA like do, basically they are starting a profiler evening and they running till tomorrow morning. So that's why they are getting a performance issue. But you are going to search what query we have to focus, which queries are creating problem due to one module issue, like let's suppose Amazon sales module issue or maybe order module issue. So whatever query
Okay.
is running, whatever procedure is running, underline those page basically. Because you are not a developer
Okay.
and how you can check? You don't know export into Python or maybe .NET basically. To find
Okay.
out baseline query or procedure, you can take a help from the profiler and extended event. Both can help you.
Okay.
Let's assume like this adventure work database consumed by the two application, Amazon sales, application name is amazon.com. Another is sales.amazon.com. Okay.
Okay.
But you know, my Amazon in or amazon.com is not performing well. So basically you have
Okay.
to filter on basis of application name amazon.com only instead of sales.amazon.com. So whatever subdomain, whatever like a URL, on basis of that you can filter out,
Okay.
so that will not get a, you can say, like a high volume of transaction basically.
Okay.
Yep. So those will
Yes.
also help and you'll get a execution plan also. Let's suppose like after I try to execute it, okay, and after execution, because I mentioned SP completed and SQL completed, so without completion you will not get your query detail, okay. So instead of
Okay.
going with a SQL completed, you have to go with a SQL start, okay. So
Start.
when they
Okay.
will start a query, you'll get a query detail basically, okay.
Okay.
So no need to wait for long time to getting a query detail from the SQL server or profiler or extended event. Yeah.
Okay. So instead of selecting like SP completed, we can go with SP start.
Yeah. Basically why I'm saying like let's suppose you got to know
It takes.
this procedure is taking
Okay.
30 minutes. So we can't
Right.
wait for the 30 minutes for the completion. Okay. So
Right.
instead of
Right.
completion, we can go for the start, batch start. Yeah. You'll get
Okay.
your query detail and then you can start whatever like we explain. You have to go with the execution plan and then we have to check it's a heap scan is happening, table scan, index scan. What is the fragmentation level of the each indexes basically? Is a statistic is updated or not? If not updated, then you have to update a statistic. If procedure is going with a bad plan, you have to recompile your procedure. So these steps you have to take care for the tuning basically.
Okay. So how do we check the fragmentation level?
Yeah, very simple. Okay, let me open once again. Here you have to go select a star from sys dot dm underscore db underscore index physical state basically. This
Okay.
dmb help you. And here,
Okay.
let's suppose you want fragmentation of only this database only. Okay. So you have to paste
Okay.
here, provide a DB ID basically. Okay, let
Okay.
me open. You can see first is the database ID you have to provide. So DB ID you can capture from your database. Okay. And then
Okay.
next step, like let's suppose you are keen about only object detail. First object, this table is creating problem. So you can mention object name also, but you don't know, you want all the index fragmentation. You can go with a null and you have to
Okay.
pass you can say four null parameter basically.
Okay.
And if you want to all the server level index fragmentation, so even no need to pass your database name also. Okay, let me copy and paste. If you want to all database fragmentation, then just remove
Null.
this part and you have to go with a null. Okay.
Okay. Five nulls. Okay.
Okay. If you can, okay, let me go with the average fragmentation percentage here. And next part you have to focus page count basically. How many
Okay.
pages are there into the indexes? So let me go with this. And I'm saying order by one. Basically, one descending, it means fragmentation is up, I'm saying. Descending
Okay.
order, I want to search, and you have to execute. You will get a this is a 50% fragmentation label of this object, index ID is this.
Okay.
Okay.
One. Okay.
So basically, with help of this DMB, you got to know what is the index fragmentation basically.
Okay.
You got basically.
Yes. Yes. So these DMVs are we are getting it from master database.
Yeah, basically it's a reside into the master database, but it's a, if you are mentioning like a sys, you can populate from there
Okay.
basically.
Okay.
And main problem basically, if you want to like execute whatever index name, object name, let's suppose I'm saying, please tell me object name. Okay. So how you can find out? Because if you'll provide a object ID into the different database, you'll get a null value. Okay. So let's
Okay.
suppose I'm executing this for this database. So I have to use same database so that you will get a correct object table name and index detail basically. And if you can
Okay.
pass here object name basically, okay, and then you have provided object ID basically, object ID, object underscore ID. So you'll get a table name basically as a table name. Okay. So let me
Okay.
try to execute this part. Okay. So you can see you will get your table name, all the table detail here. Let's suppose I
Okay.
want to show this is a 50% fragmentation of, okay, index ID I didn't mention. Let me mention index ID also so that you got to know which indexes have a high fragmentation index ID. Okay.
Okay.
So you can correlate. Like let's suppose I'm saying product second, you can say fourth index and second index have a 50% fragmentation. Let me show you. So I'm
Okay.
going to search this table and in index, I will show you how much percentage. So product table, you have to go into the indexes. And if you can right click and rebuild index, you got to know what is the percentage. I said like a index ID fourth and second have a 50%. So fourth is
Yes.
your second,
Fourth
this one,
and
and this one is a second. So this have a
yes.
50% fragmentation.
Right.
Okay. So on
Okay.
basis of that, you will get to know. Let's suppose I'm saying I'm going to a master database and I'm trying to execute. So basically, most of the time you'll not get a right table name. Okay. So
Okay.
same
Okay.
database, basically you have to select because let's suppose I
Amir,
let's suppose
Okay.
I selected for all the index fragmentation of each and every database, but you want to know what is the table name. So each and every database you have to select and you have to filter your database ID basically so that you will
Okay.
get a
Instead of
right.
that, we can run it. Okay. Instead of that, we can run it on that particular database which we are trying to
Yes, yeah, right.
fetch.
Yeah, object
Okay.
detail, table detail basically. Okay.
Okay.
If you will be executed into the different database, maybe you will not get a right object name and index ID detail basically.
Okay.
Let's suppose I'm exiting for this. So maybe you will not get a right object name. You can see none, null, none, so many. So what we have to do, like if you want to go with a null, let's suppose I'm saying with a null. So first you have to go here, add filter condition. I'm going with a DBI database ID. Okay. Database ID we already have. And here we'll calculate DB ID from the table database. Let's suppose I'm going with this and whatever I will be mentioned here, same I will use here, use database this one. Okay. So no need to
Okay.
pass and here you will get a right each and every detail you will get a right information. So let me paste this one.
Okay.
So those should also work. Yeah. If you can execute this one. Same thing. You can
Yes.
go for the different
Without
date
none.
tables or different database. Okay. All the information. Let's
Okay.
suppose I'm going with a different database. this one light database. So I will start using this part, and same I'll be mentioned into the this into the database ID. So you'll get a right information. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Fragmentation level greater than 30 has to be reorg and
No, no, no.
sorry, rebuild and
Yes. So you have to here you have to mention like let's suppose I'm going with this and greater than 30%. So this case you have to go for the rebuild,
rebuild.
and if you can add this part less than equal, you have to go for the reorg.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. When we rebuild the indexes, we don't have to go with the update statistics, right? It will
Yes, right.
automatically
Yes, right. Yeah. For this case, you have to go for the update statistic.
okay.
Okay. So for the entire
Okay.
table, if you want to go, you can directly start updating you. And most of the time, basically what happen in production hour, we can't rebuild anything. Okay. For this case,
Okay.
two solution mainly I got and I fix first recompile because they routing with a wrong plan. And second, I went through
Recompiling the procedure.
yes, yeah. And
Okay.
second, I went for the update status. Most of the time I got issue got fixed basically due to this. This is a practical
Okay.
experience I'm sharing to you.
Okay. It's like even though you found like the fragmentation level is lesser than 30, you didn't rebuild. I mean, sorry, greater than 30, you didn't rebuild.
Yeah,
You went with update statistics in
yeah,
order to avoid the
yes,
performance impact.
yes, right.
Okay.
Yes, right. Yeah. So, Sek, what we can do? Maybe tomorrow, if I will get a time, we can go once again. Yeah.
Okay. So we have covered only one question, right? Or
Yeah, maybe if we can go through but we'll try to cover all the question, whatever question we mentioned. Yeah.
sure,
Let me
sure,
try
Mr.
to
Rajesh.
copy so that maybe most of the like a few part is already covered. Yeah. But
Yes,
we'll cover
yes.
maybe tomorrow if I will get a time. Yeah.
Sure, sure, Mr. Rajesh.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Bye.
Okay. No problem. Bye.